Hello there, friends. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast. I'm Jimmy Maverick, and today it is a mock draft. We are going to be doing a PPR 12-team pick number 3 on FantasyPros. Let me tell you what, it goes really, really well. I'm super happy with this team, so you got to check it out. Here we go.
Listen up. It's time for the Fantasy Maverick podcast, starring the guy who's going to help you win that fantasy championship, Jimmy Maverick.
Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast. And today we are going to do a mock draft, PPR 12-team. We're going to be doing it on FantasyPros Draft Simulator. So it's just us tonight against the computer. We're going to see how we do and what kind of team we can draft. We're going to draft from the third position and see what kind of team we can build. So let's go ahead and do this now. We're going to use my app, which is My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to help us pick players. And if you haven't done so already, I invite you to go and check out my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. That's where you're going to find the app. It's a web-based app. It's available exclusively through my website, and it's going to give you the edge on draft day to make the right decisions and pick the right players, regardless of the size of your league and what draft position you're in. It's going to help you easily find the right guys. I'm going to show you how you do it. Now, when you log into the app, it's going to ask you 3 questions, and the questions are, how does your league score points? And we have all these preset scores available. You can also create a custom points league, but we're going to select point per reception. That's what we want. Do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? This removes the highest risk players from the list, so you don't have to worry about them messing up your drafts. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say yes to that. And then it says, do you want to enter draft mode? And if to enter draft mode, you just have to tell them the size of your league, 12-team. What is your draft position? We're going to go 3, and we're going to go ahead and enter draft mode. So you can see the player list right here. Here's position filters. And then what happens is it pops in these tabs. And what these tabs represent is each round of your draft. And all you have to do is just click on one for the first round. And right below that, you'll see that I'll give some recommendations. And in this case, for the first round of the draft, it is recommending Zeke Elliott first, Alvin Kamara second, Chris Godwin third, as far as our options go. Now, one of the things that my app does, which is unique, is it applies what's called a Vork Score to each player. Now, I rate players on 4 key stats. It is value, outlook, reliability, and consistency. Based on how they score on these things, they get points. Those points are added up. That gives you your Vork score. When you're in draft mode, the players are sorted by their Vork score, so only the highest scoring players appear at the top of the list. You can see here this EDP, that's expected draft position. If you click that, that's going to show you your standard list. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Michael Thomas, Zeke Elliott. But when you sort by the Vork score, when you sort by the Vork score, you can see that the highest scoring players, the players that scored the most points, are at the top of the list. And what I'd like to say is those are the players you should focus on. Focus on the players at the top of the list. Ignore the players at the bottom of the list because they're a bad choice at this point in the draft. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not worth it if they're available later. I'll show you how that works in a minute. But let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and start the mock draft here. We got it set up for PPR. We're going to have it picking, I'm sorry, did we say third or fourth? We said third. Okay, so we're going to change it to third. And then we're going to do just a standard lineup, quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a defense, a kicker, and 6 bench slots. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and start the draft. And I'm sure the first 2 will be CMC and Barkley. That's what I'm going to guess. So we'll see what happens here. There you go, Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. So I actually jumped to the cheat sheets. I don't like the recommendations. So we're going to go to the cheat sheets, and I'm going to hide the tiers. But definitely Zeke Elliott is the top choice in this round. He scores the most Vork points. Again, value rank is 2, so he's great. He's going to catch a lot of passes. We know that. He's on the best offense of any of these teams in the early rounds. Certainly better than Carolina. Certainly better than the Giants. So I think it's going to be very productive. And I think this is the year that Zeke finally wins the running back rushing title this season. I think it's going to be very hard for defenses to stop him while they're also trying to stop CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and even Blake Jarwin. It's going to be a very prolific offense. So I'm super happy and super comfortable to take Zeke Elliott with my first pick. can just review who was taken. So after us, it was Michael Thomas, then Kamara, Cook, and Henry. Then we had, look at this, a run on wide receivers. Hopkins, Adams, Hill, and Jones all came off. Joe Mixon closed out the first round, and Leonard Fournette was the first on the second round. Chris Godwin came off. Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Sanders, Drake, Robinson, wide receiver, Josh Jacobs. It's back to us. Now, all we need to do is on our app, just go to the number 2 tab, and we'll see who is it recommending. Well, it's recommending Patrick Mahomes. It's recommending Juju Smith-Schuster and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Those are all good choices. I think at this point in the draft, I don't like Juju this early, but it is a contract year for him, so that does help him a bit. But look at some of these guys. Now, you'll notice that there's these little icons next to some names, and the gun means it's a long shot, which means it wasn't supposed to make, it's less than a 50-50 shot that it would make it to our pick. But the very top pick on this round, the top 3 picks are all long shots: Galladay, Sanders, and Jacobs. Now, Sanders and Jacobs both got taken, but Galladay actually scores the most points. He offers excellent value. Look, we're at pick 22. His value rank is 15th, 4-star outlook, high reliability, 8 out of 10 consistency. It is a contract year. That's what that little $ means. I love Kenny Galladay to take with our second pick. Now, normally I would not take a running back in the second round, but in this case, I'm very comfortable doing it just because of the upside that Galladay offers, and we'll still be able to get a great running back in the next round. So I am perfectly happy to go ahead and take that. So let's go back to the cheat sheets, and you can see here that Galladay is right there. And there's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, there's Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, there's Juju Smith-Schuster, but this is a nice steal to get him at this point. Like I said, he shouldn't have been here. So we'll draft Galladay, and it's going to be a short turnaround here to the next pick. So if we look at the draft board, who came off after us? 2 tight ends. So Kelsey and Kittle came off. Patrick Mahomes came off. Clyde Edwards-Helaire came off, and it's back to us. So if we jump to the third round here, we're going to see it is recommending Le'Veon Bell as the top running back on this round. Also, it likes Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Robert Woods, wide receiver. These are all very nice choices. Le'Veon Bell offers outstanding value. And I know last year was a total dump as far as Le'Veon Bell, but the volume is there. His production is going to improve. They've made some key improvements to the offense. It's going to be a better offense this year. His quarterback isn't going to be dealing with mono. I think he's going to be much more effective. So I love the idea of taking Le'Veon Bell as our running back 2. At this point, he would not make it back to us in the 4th round. I know that for sure. So and Leonard Fournette already came off. If we look at some of the other running backs here, Clyde Edwards-Helaire also got taken. So let's go ahead and we will go ahead and take Le'Veon Bell. So let's go back to the cheat sheets. And if we look, there's Todd Gurley, there's Melvin Gordon, Chris Carson. Let's rate these guys and see how they look. Now, one of the things that the app allows you to do is if we look at just the running backs, we should be able to see, let's see here, there's Gurley. We can restore players that were supposed to be taken on an earlier round. So we can restore Gurley. We can restore, who else was on this list? Gordon and Carson. There's Carson. And where is Gordon? There's Gordon. And you can see nobody outscores Bell. Chris Carson is very good at 61 Vork points, but you can see that Le'Veon Bell scored 80 Vork points for this round. You can only score up to 100. That is amazing. If a player scores over 40 Vork points, that's a good player. And if you can get guys in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, that's even better. Very rarely will you ever see a player at 100 Vork points. It's very, very, very hard to get. But Bell is there. He checks all my boxes. He's 28. He's an elite running back. We're getting him in the 3rd round. He's a workhorse. There's no one else in this backfield that's going to be able to do anything. It's Frank Gore, and it's I believe the guy LaMichael Pirine, a rookie, is his option. So we are good to go. We're totally going to take. All right, so I lost my internet connection. That's what happened. But I reconnected. I took Bell. So now it is back to us again for the 4th round. So let's take a look at the 4th round and see what it's recommending. So in the 4th round, I'm going to restore this to all the players. It is recommending. We got Terry McLaurin. We got Tyler Lockett. We got David Johnson. These are all good choices. We'll see who's available. I do like the idea of taking another running back. Taking David Johnson as our flex, I think, is great. You can also see here, long shot top-ranked player is Cortland Sutton. Is he? Well, let's review who was taken, and then we can figure out who we want to take. So let's go back to the draft board. And after our pick, Lamar Jackson came off, Juju Smith-Schuster, Thielen, Evans, Gurley came off, then Cooper, Sutton came off, Beckham, T.Y. Hilton, then Zach Ertz, Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, DJ Moore, A.J. Brown, Mark Andrews, tight end, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Chris Carson, and now it's back to us. So if we look at the cheat sheets, we can see here who is still available. So we got, oh my gosh, look at this. Ridley still on the board. That is a steal. Let's go ahead and restore Ridley onto this list. Where are you, Ridley? Right there. Ridley right at the top. 90 Vork points at this point in the draft. That is enormous. Like I said, a wonderful, wonderful gift. We're at pick 46. His value rank is 32nd. Awesome value. Holy cow. I don't think there's any question here. I think we need to take him, but let's also look at the running backs because I want to just look at them. David Johnson is still available. Now, David Johnson on this list, where are you, DJ? David Johnson. Why am I not seeing him? Hold on. Oh, David Johnson was filtered out, wasn't he? Right. Let's see here. David Johnson. Let's restore him. David Johnson, where are you? 31 Vork points. Okay, this is no contest. We absolutely have to take Ridley here. This is a gift, and we're going to take advantage of it. So I love Ridley as our RB2. That's a great, great option. It's going to be a quick turnaround for us here. So just a few players coming off. Let's take a look at the draft board. Who came off after us? Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Devontae Parker. Boy, I'm super happy to have Galladay and Ridley as my wide receivers in a PPR league. That really makes me happy. But let's definitely get another running back here. I usually don't take two wide receivers this early, but I think we definitely need to take. Now the top player recommended in this round is Kareem Hunt. I do like that play. Oh, and David Johnson is still available. Let's put him back on the list to see how he rates here. David Johnson is down here, still not that great. You know, again, it was only a few picks between our last pick and this pick, so he didn't move that much on the draft board. But we got Tyler Boyd, Deshaun Watson. We don't need to take a quarterback right now. I definitely don't need to do that. As far as tight ends, though, I think Waller is still on the board. He should be. Yeah, I believe he is. Let's look at the cheat sheets. I would not mind going Waller on this round, man. I mean, I think he would be a great, rock-solid tight end on this team. Where's he at? 42 Vork points. Like I said, remember, anytime you get over 40, you're great. Tight ends are notoriously overvalued relative to their draft position, but his value rank is 60. We're at pick number 51. That's really good for a tight end. So I love the fact that we would get that kind of value out of him, and he is a top 5 player week in and week out. So that definitely would help our team. So I like the idea. Let's go ahead. We'll get Waller this round. Then we don't have to worry about a tight end for the rest of the draft. So let's go ahead and get him. And Kareem Hunt come off the board. But let's take a look. So we got DJ Chark, James Conner, Terry McLaurin, Diggs, Landry, Engram, David Johnson, Dak Prescott, Will Fuller, A.J. Green, Devin Singletary. Then a little bit of a quarterback run. Wilson, Murray, Watson all come off together. Deebo Samuel, Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry, Marquise Brown. Okay, so there are some very interesting running backs available for round 6. So let's take a look here. And who's it recommending? Michael Gallup, Josh Allen, Evan Engram. Okay, we don't need to worry about those guys. Let's look at the running backs. So running backs, the only one for this round is DeAndre Swift. But if we look at the cheat sheet, we can see that there are, where are we? Okay, so Ingram still available. Montgomery still on the board. Mostert, I love. Hunt, both these guys, great options. Let's look at them. Let's compare them and see how they match up. So if we go to Mostert and what was the other guy? It was Hunt, right? Hunt. Okay, so let's look. Okay, Kareem Hunt way outscores Mostert. Better value, more consistent, better outlook. And again, it's PPR, so he's going to catch a lot of passes. Although I do like Mostert, he does not score well here, and he doesn't score well because it's PPR. He doesn't catch a lot of passes. So let's go ahead. Let's take Hunt. Geez, I mean, it's nice that he's available this late. This is certainly a nice gift. So let's go ahead and take that. That's a very nice play for the flex position. So now let's see who comes off here. And again, it was just a short turnaround. So in the interim, here's who came off. Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Josh Allen. Look at that. Okay, so Mostert did not come off. Now, I know his value isn't that much more on this round, but holy cow, I'd love to have him as our fourth running back. So, we can just go down here. We can restore Mostert again onto this round. And you can see he scores a 34. Really, we're at pick number 75, so he is undervalued relative to his draft position. I think we'll grab one more running back here, and then we're going to go back to wide receivers on the next few rounds. But we can't just ignore that. That's a great option. Great depth play right there. I really like our running back core right now. So this is a very solid running back core. Very happy with that. So I see some guys that I very much like coming off the draft board. So let's look at let's see what happened after our pick. So Boyd, Ryan, Swift, Brady, Edelman, Montgomery, CeeDee Lamb, Christian Kirk, Tariq Cohen. Then the next round we got Crowder, Brown, Jefferson, Akers, Marvin Jones, J.K. Dobbins, Anthony Miller, James White, Deontay Johnson came off. So we absolutely need to get another wide receiver at this point. And I did not see Sterling Shepard come off on the last round. So you could see that although Crowder did come off, Sterling Shepard was the top rated player for the last round. Great value. But let's go ahead and restore Shepard onto this round. So where are you, Shepard? Oh, is he still on here? Oh, he still is. Look at that. Okay, so he's a long shot. So he wasn't supposed to make it to us on this round. Less than 50-50 shot. We gambled. We win. This is a great option for this round. Crowder was taken, so he's gone. Lindsey also is still available. But again, the Vork score is not even close here. Let's go with Sterling. One thing about Sterling that I really like, first of all, he only played 10 games last year. But in 6 of those games, he had 10 or more targets with Daniel Jones. So this is very promising. If he can stay healthy, he's great. We're picking him as our third wide receiver. So he is a bye-week flex option depending on the matchup. So he's a great depth play. I really like him as a depth play here. So let's go to the cheat sheets and let's find him. There he is. He's right there. He's still on the board. I love that. Let's go ahead and take him. And it'll be a quick turnaround here. So let's see. So it's just a few players that came off. We have Slayton, Judy, Geis, and Vaughn. Now, I know some people are going to be asking me, why didn't I take Slayton? Slayton's not going to get the volume that Shepard has. Slayton's a deep ball guy, so he's going to have a lot more boomer bust performances. I want consistency in my players. Sterling Shepard scored 10 out of 10 on consistency. Darius Slayton only scored a... Where are you, Slayton? Hold on here. Let's look at the wide receivers because I know they went right next to each other. Where are you? Slayton scored a 2 out of 10 on consistency. So again, he's a boom bust player. I don't like that for season long. I think he's a better daily fantasy play. But now we are in the 9th round, right? We are. So we can definitely look at getting another wide receiver, which I think is not a bad choice here. We've got Jameson Crowder. We got Deontay Johnson, Mecole Hardman, who I very much like. He scores 40 Vork points here. Ruggs, Sanders. See, none of these guys really excite me. Their outlook isn't great. It is recommending, Daniel Jones for a quarterback, Ronald Jones for the running back. Actually, I do very much like the Ronald Jones, but we've already got 4 really strong running backs. I think we can wait. Mecole Hardman is ranking as the best wide receiver for this round. I do like that. Let's look at, but we still need a quarterback. What quarterbacks are still available? Because there's still a lot. Let me see here. Wentz, Breeze, Rodgers, Stafford, and there's Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones is still not really in danger of being taken here. We've already had 9 quarterbacks taken, so only 2 other teams besides me even need a quarterback at this point, so I think we can wait. We can wait on a quarterback till the next round. And I'd love to get Stafford. I'd love to get Jones. I think they're both good options. I think one of them will make it to the next round easily. So there's Lindsey right there. I do like him. We've got, let's see here on this side, there's Mecole. So we got some other options: Williams, Sanders, Tate, Preston Williams, Robbie Anderson, Henry Ruggs, the rookie, Jalen Reagor, the rookie. I like the upside of Mecole Hardman. Best offense in the NFL, best quarterback in the NFL. And as we saw last year, Mecole Hardman only needs 1 catch to have a big fantasy day, as he had, I think, 5 touchdown catches of 40 or more yards. So I love that upside, and I don't like Sammy Watkins this year, and I think by the end of the season, Mecole Hardman's going to be the number 2 wide receiver on that team. So let's go ahead. We're going to take Hardman this turn, and I think we will probably end up taking a quarterback on the next round, but let's see what happens. So we will wait for it to choose all the players. And I saw Philip Lindsay come off there, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's all right. I think we're doing really good here. So after my pick, we had Sanders, then Breida, Wentz, the quarterback. San Francisco 49ers came off, so that's in the 9th round. Ruggs, Kerryon Johnson, Mike Williams, Philip Lindsay, Damian Williams. Then we had Perryman, Jeffrey, and Reagor, wide receivers taken. Ronald Jones was taken. That's too bad. Rob Gronkowski, tight end. Pittman, Sony Michel, Robbie Anderson, Preston Williams, and it's back to us. So really, it was only Carson Wentz that was taken on the last round. So I think we could even press our luck to the 10th round for our quarterback, as it's just a short turnaround. But let's see here. So we are in the 10th. So in the 10th round, who's it recommending? Oh, it's kind of a desolate round. Now, Daniel Jones, we already took Mecole Hardman, so he's already gone. It's recommending CeeDee Lamb. That's interesting. We got Henry Ruggs here as well. CeeDee Lamb, is Golden Tate still available? I think he got taken. Let's look at the cheat sheets. No, Golden Tate is still on the board. But you know what? We already got Sterling Shepard. I don't want another guy from that team. Who else is available? Curtis Samuel, Deshaun Jackson. All right. As far as our team goes, we do now have 4 wide receivers. So what I like to say is the optimal number of wide receivers for your team is the number of wide receiver slots plus flex slots plus 1. So in this layout, we've got the optimum number of wide receivers. I don't think we need more than 4. I think we're in great shape there. We've got our tight end. I think we definitely need to get another running back here. So if we look at running backs, let's see who's available. So Tevin Coleman, not a great option. And again, this is a short round. So what I like to say is if you don't see something you like here, and we don't need the wide receiver, just go to the next round and see who's there. And we can see that there's a couple of options: Darrell Henderson, Duke Johnson, that both have decent outlooks. Darrell Henderson is a top 100 value. I do like that. So I think that's good. Let's look at the cheat sheet and see who else is sitting as far as, look at that. Jordan Howard is still available. Marlon Mack is still available. Okay, but let's restore these guys and see how they do. So Howard right there and Mack right there. Mack is at the top of the list. Look at that Vork score, 74 Vork points here. He doesn't offer top 100 value, but a great outlook, high consistency. Obviously it's going to be a timeshare, but this is our 5th running back, so this is a depth play. Darrell Henderson is very good. He gets 50 Vork points here, top 100 value. I think he is a good, solid choice. Jordan Howard, not great. Not a great option here. Not a great option also because it's PPR, right? We already know what Howard's going to do. Mack also does not catch a lot of balls. I think we got to go value here. I like the idea of getting Darrell Henderson. So let's go ahead. We're going to take him. Darrell Henderson right there. So I like that. And let's go to the 12th round. And again, this is the short turnaround. So who comes off? All right. And it looks like Tate, Mack, Hurst, and Howard all came off. It's back to us at the 11th round. I really don't think I want to wait the long wrap to take our quarterback. This is the round to take our quarterback. This is a great time to take it. Again, we're one of the last people in the league to take the quarterback. And if we look at the cheat sheet, let's see who is still available. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, and Daniel Jones. So on our list, if we look at just quarterbacks, you can see we are much later than we normally would expect to be taking a quarterback, which is great. I mean, we've been able to load up on so many good players. So let's go ahead and let's restore these players to see who scores the best. So we've got Drew Brees. We've got Stafford. We've got who else? Stafford, Rodgers, and Daniel Jones. Right there. Who's at the top? Daniel Jones is at the top. Just the tremendous upside there. I think Stafford is the safer play, but I love the upside of Jones this year. I think it's going to be great offense. We already got Sterling Shepard. I think they're going to be a very productive offense for fantasy. Poor defense. They're going to have to score a lot of points. He's going to have to throw the ball a ton. And he had 3 games last season as a rookie where he had 4+ touchdowns, 3 separate games. So I can't pass that up. I think he is going to be fantastic this year. So let's go ahead. We'll take Daniel Jones as our quarterback. And like I said, man, just going for it on this team. And I got to say, man, I very much like this team. I think it is rock solid right now. I'm really, really liking our starting lineup, and I think our bench is going to be very, very good. So let's look and see who came off after us. After us, Jared Cook, Tevin Coleman, Drew Brees, Latavius Murray. Then the Steelers came off, Steelers defense. Antonio Brown was selected. Hooper, Font, Nyheim Hines. By the way, Antonio Brown's not getting reinstated this year. He has so many hoops he has to jump through before it would happen. I do not think it's going to happen. So I think it's kind of a wasted pick, especially this early. I mean, maybe if you're at the end of your draft and it's a last pick situation and he's still on the board, yeah, I'll pick him up. But I wouldn't spend anything more than that on him. Tyrod Taylor, Duke Johnson, Zach Moss, Mike Gesicki. Then we have Madison, Gibson, Scott. Oh, these are 3 of my favorite late-round running backs all got taken here. Hawkinson, Tony Pollard, and I think we only have 1 bench slot left. So let me look at my roster here. I think it's just 1. No, we got 2 bench slots left. Okay, so let's finish out with getting some running backs. I think we need to get some late-round running backs. So for the 12th round, yes, that's where we are. Let's just look at the running backs. Not great options. Hines and Pollard. Let's jump to the next round and see what we got. See, there's Gibson and Scott, 2 guys that I really love in the late round. Pollard also gone. Chase Edmonds is still there, and he's strictly a handcuff to Drake. But I think he's going to be. I mean, I think he would be a good choice here. Anyone else that I like late as far as running backs go? There's not a lot of options here. Joshua Kelly. All right, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Edmonds, and then I'll get Kelly when we wrap around to the next round, and that'll finish off my running back core. So let's go to the cheat sheets and see if there's anybody also here. So there's Chase Edmonds. See, we got Peterson, Dillon, Jackson, Jamal Williams, Darrington. Yeah, I mean, there's really nobody here that's blow me away. So let's go ahead. We'll take Edmonds. Draft him. And then we will go and we'll take Kelly. Where are you, Kelly? There's Kelly. Now, why am I taking Kelly instead of Justin Jackson? Justin Jackson did not impress me last year, and Joshua Kelly is getting a lot of buzz. We're looking at someone that's going to replace the Melvin Gordon role in this offense. I don't think Kelly proved that he has that capability. I'm sorry. I don't think Justin Jackson has that capability, but Kelly certainly does. It's something that could become a productive pick. So that will finish out our bench. So we end our bench with so we've got 6 running backs on this team. No, 7. We got 7 running backs on this team. I love that. That's great. All right, and so we just need to get our defense. Oh, that's right. I didn't even choose a kicker on this one. All right, so we'll just grab our defense. Who's available? So we got the Chiefs. Oh, and the Eagles. Eagles are kind of like my go-to this year. Last year it was the Buffalo Bills or the New England Patriots. What I look for is guys with a great early season schedule that have a decent defense, so good matchups. And Philadelphia fills the bill, and they're available basically at the end of every single draft that I have done. So easy to get, and their week 1 matchup is Washington. I think they have to play the Rams week 2, but then week 3, it's the Bengals. So we're talking great opportunities for turnovers with rookie quarterbacks. I think they're going to be fantastic. So there we go. So we'll let it finish out the draft. They gave me a B. I think it's a little bit better than that. I'm going to just pause real quick. We're going to look at all these players on my app to see how they rate. The draft is done. I really like this team. Let's go over why I like it so much and how all these players rate in my app. So you can see here there's little icons next to their names. The gold $ means they're contract year players. So we got Kenny Golladay as a contract year player. Calvin Ridley is a contract year player for 2021, so this is a big year for him as well, as is Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds, all on contract years for 2021. The little green bouncing ball, it's a bounce back player. Le'Veon Bell, again, high volume. He had terrible yards per carry and touchdowns last year. That is going to bounce back this year. Again, he's still the workhorse on that backfield. Kareem Hunt, another bounce back candidate. We also have this little upward arrow, means an upward trend in his usage over each of the past 3 seasons. The little fist bump is a breakout player. So we got Daniel Jones and Mecole Hardman and Joshua Kelly, all as potential breakout players. Look at all the stars on Outlook. I like to get players that have 3 or more stars on my teams. Now, the only 1-star player is Chase Edmonds, who is, he's a backup, right? That's what we got. He's a handcuff for the most part, but I think he can get a role in that high-powered offense in Arizona, so I really like having a share of that. But look at this. It's all like 4- and 5-star players for the most part. Raheem Mostert's 3 and Darrell Henderson is 3. Everyone else is 4 or 5. High reliability players, high and mid reliability players across the board. No low reliability players on this team. That is great. Consistency. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, how do these players rank? Well, we've got basically everyone that's a starter scores 10s, 9s, and 8s. Look at that. I mean, all these guys, very, very consistent. Perfect for season-long fantasy. The guys that are lower are my backups. They're on my bench. Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds. And then we got guys that are lower volume players that didn't get enough to qualify for a consistency ranking. But again, these are all my bench players. None of these guys are starters. And of course, the Philadelphia Eagles doesn't really matter for reliability or consistency. But they're good defense, good outlook this year. This team is exactly what you want. In my last podcast, I talked about the reliability and consistency matrix. I put them on a chart, and I put in the quadrants. And the upper left-hand quadrant, high reliability players with above average consistency are the players you want on your team. So all these players, at least a mid, most of them are high, all the consistency above 8. I mean, that's amazing. That's really, really good. So, again, this team is a dominator, and I owe it to the app. The app helped me figure out who were the best players to target in each round. And that's actually one of the really nice things is when we're in this app, if you're in a live draft, you have more time between your picks than what we had in this situation. So you can just go to the next round. You can look at the pool of players that are going to be available, and those are the ones you need to focus on. And then occasionally something goes your way. Someone falls to that round that shouldn't have, like Golladay did for me in the 2nd, or Ridley in the 5th, or no, I guess I got him in the 4th. I got him in the 4th round. He was not expected to be there, though. Those were 2 great long shots. Holy cow, I love that running back core. So, again, if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you. Go to my app, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. and sign up. You can try the app out for free. They have a limited version of the app. It'll let you try it out on a standard points mock for 12 teams in draft mode. But you're going to get all this information. You're going to get you're going to get the consistency, the reliability of players. You'll be able to see their value rankings in a standard points league. It's all. There's great information in here, and if you like it, you can subscribe for only $9.95 for 1 year. $9.95. Use it on as many drafts as you are in, and it will absolutely make a difference for you for this fantasy season. And like I said, this is like the perfect kind of draft that I would dream of taking this team with me into the fantasy season. If I just been able to get a couple of those running backs I really, really wanted, they all went early, Boston Scott and Antonio Gibson and those guys. But that's all right, man. I'm totally cool with Chase Edmonds and Darrell Henderson and Joshua Kelly as my bench players here in this situation. This is a great team. It's going to do really, really well this year. So I think it's better than a B. By the way, Fantasy Pros. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And we will be talking about tight end strategy on the next edition because I think it's something that we need to talk about. Tight ends are kind of weird in the fantasy draft. I mentioned a couple of things during the course of this thing, how like every tight end is overvalued relative to their draft position. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what I usually do to get my tight ends and the ones that I really, really like for this year. And there's a couple that are available late. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I do appreciate it. Leave a comment. Happy to talk to you guys about any questions you might have or any questions about these players. So thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.